15 is a resolve, reconcile, explain question. We are asked to explain the surprising fact. So let's take a look. We have Hine's emerald dragonflies are endangered species that live in the wetlands. The larvae of these dragonflies can survive only in water, but in water they are subject to the predation by several species, including this thing. So their larvae need water to survive, right? But then, hey, guess what? Lots of things live in water, including the red devil crayfish that eat the larvae. Okay, so far nothing's that surprising. But surprisingly, the dragonfly populations are more likely to remain healthy in areas where red devil crayfish are present than in areas without. See, before you get into the answers, this one is not that bad. Before you get into the answer, you have to understand why it's surprising, right? Like we know so little about this, right? Like, I mean, it's only surprising if you go in with lots of presumptions, right? We just know so little about this ecosystem, about the dragonfly's relationship with a crayfish. Like, the only thing we know is that, okay, sometimes the red devil crayfish eat the larvae. So on that fact alone, we think that that's the only thing the red devil crayfish does, is to eat the larvae. Well, then on that fact alone, I suppose it is surprising that how come the populations are healthier in areas where their predators live than in areas without their predators. The immediate reason I thought of was, well, I don't know, maybe they eat also tons of other things, right? Maybe they eat the things that also eat the larvae. Who knows? Who's the number one predator of larvae? Let's say this thing called X, okay? Not the red devil crayfish. They're just a predator of the larvae, right? And this red devil crayfish, actually, you know what? Their favorite food is X, right? Whose favorite food in turn is a larvae. See, now doesn't this make a lot of sense? Anyway, that's the first thing that came to my mind. It's not the right answer, but the point is, you have to, that's the kind of exercise you want to force yourself to go through, and hopefully enough where when you come to questions like this, you just immediately options start popping out, right? Let's take a look at the answers. Red devil crayfish dig chambers that remain filled with water even when the surrounding wetlands dry up, right? So you have to remember why water and the wetlands are important, and that's over here, right? The larvae survive only in water. So now when the wetlands dry up, what happens? Is there water? No, it dries up, right? So that's why, because they dig chambers that have water. So maybe that's why they're healthier, the population is healthier in areas with red devil crayfish, because they won't just all die, right? Because the wetlands have dried up. The larvae have somewhere to live, that is in these chambers that are filling with water. Now the others, let's take a look at the others. B says, the red devil crayfish present no threat to adult emerald dragonflies. But here, nobody's talking about, like, they eat the larvae. It's not about whether or not they eat the adults, right? They eat you when you're a baby. C says, the varied diet of the devil crayfish does not include any animals that prey on. So this one, if you don't read this carefully, you skip over the not, then this is sort of that explanation that I gave, right? When I came to C, I was like, wait a second. I'm not just making this up, right? There is a not, right? This is saying they don't eat the dragonfly's predators, right? Which then that doesn't explain. If it said they do eat the dragonfly's predators, in other words, if this not wasn't present, then C would help to explain this. D says, red devil crayfish are found in many more locations than Hine's emerald dragonflies are. So Hine's emerald dragonflies are located here, right? Red devil crayfish, they're here, and also here, and here, and here, and here, where there are no Hine's emerald dragonflies. Okay, so what? I guess, see, like, this suggests that they eat other things too, right? Because if they can survive in areas without the dragonflies, then they, of course, eat other things. But, I mean, just the fact that they eat other things, you can't take that to mean that they eat the other things must be predators of the dragonfly larvae, right? That's not good. And E is similar, right? E says populations of red devil in wetlands do not drop significantly if local population Hines die out, right? So similarly to D, let's say in this area there used to be dragonflies, now they're not, right? This area there used to be now they're not. The crayfish population survive. Well, that just means they also eat something else, right? But you can't presume that that something else must be the predators of the larvae, of the dragonfly larvae.